Hey, what is up everyone? It's the guy here and welcome back to another episode of my hardcore TerraFirmaRescue Let's Play series. In this episode, we're going to be making a lot of machines and trying to get up to the advanced steel levels and get into some of the GregTech stuff. But off camera, all I did was really just to gather more resources and also saved the nether portal that we made last episode. Probably won't be touching that for a little while since there's no need to at the moment, excuse me, but I gathered some wood because we'll need that for charcoal and just for planks in general. Some coal, which we will need because of the other machines that we will need to power, and some diamonds because we're making some machines that require some diamonds. So that's some interesting stuff there. But the machines that we will be making or attempting to make this episode, depending on how long it takes, will be the rolling machine, another hobby engine, making the rock crusher, the other blast furnace, the other coke oven, a liquid tank, and also trying to make some of the red steel and blue steel stuff, mainly red steel for the bucket and the weapons, tools, etc., and armor, blue steel. And the reason why I'm going with blue steel for the armor is because blue steel has better piercing protection, and I am really more concerned about skeletons than I am zombies. Zombies deal slashing and skeletons deal piercing, so I want more protection from piercing, so that's why I'm going with blue steel. But I'm going with red steel elsewhere because at the moment gold, which is more of what's used for red steel, is a little more plentiful, so the other resources are generally the same there, so I'll be using that for the other ones, but by far I'll be using a lot of blue steel because of the armor. But we'll get into that if and when we get to that. But to start off, we're going to be making, if we check in the quests here, making the rolling machine. And the reason why is that this will make it more efficient to make things like plates, curved plates, casings, foils, rods, etc., etc. Anything that's basically not steel or higher, or higher than steel, so black steel and red and blue steel, that won't apply here, but this will make things like wrought iron and just steel plates a lot easier. So the rolling machine recipe, 3 pistons here, wrought iron machine casing, and churn base. So I actually have the churn base here, and over here we have the 3 pistons, but the wrought iron casing, this is made from taking these 2 here, the quadruple wrought iron plates, and putting it into the anvil and working that. Now, because it's not of the right level, I don't think I can actually work on it. Yeah, no. So I need to heat these up in order to work on it. But these, all you do is, for normal TFC, you would weld together 2 plates. I'll just search these up so I can show you. But this is made from a triple wrought iron plate and welding it with a normal wrought iron plate and wrought iron sheet. This triple plate is made from a double wrought iron sheet and welding another wrought iron sheet onto it. So basically, it's 4 wrought iron sheets. This is a total of 8 sheets or 16 ingots of wrought iron for this machine. So now that they are heated up, I can put them in here, make this GT machine hole, and all we have to do is go here and see if I can get this to go there. There we go. That was pretty quick. So now we have the wrought iron machine casing, and I made all of this wrought iron ingots, and I'm letting it cool here so it doesn't take as much inventory because it doesn't need to be hot. I'll show you later why. But now that we have this, we can look at this. It needs a wrench and a hammer. So let's grab this hammer from over here. Put this hammer here, this here, pistons across the top, wrench over here, and what was that again? A churn base, whatever, at the bottom. Bam, we now have a rolling machine. Let me put the hammer back. So this rolling machine is going to be crucial. Let's detect this, and we can get this set up. I'm going to need to grab the hobby generator. And we're actually going to start out here with these water tanks. Now, I made these a while back because I wanted an automated source of water. And this is just normal vanilla Minecraft water, not fresh water or anything. So kind of useless for TerraFirmaCraft stuff, but very useful for what we're about to do here. So how we take water out of this without needing pumps or anything like that is to place them basically anywhere that's not connected to the top. So it doesn't fight gravity, for example. So if I place this here, shift right click, notice that it's filling up with water. So I'm going to connect both of these here, and we can use this wrench. Notice that it pops up this looking cube GUI. If we hit this side here, it'll attempt to connect to whatever's over there. So there we go. Now I need to get up there somehow. There we go. And what I'm going to do is just take this up here and break this and put it in here, funnel the water in there, because that's where we will be putting the machines. So over here, notice that it's all the way back there. I can connect back there by hitting one of these blocks. Any of these four corners will try to connect from the back over there. So that's really cool. But we're trying to connect here. I plan to have the crushing, the rock crushers here. It's a 2x3x3, so it'll be 3 long, 2 deep, and 2 tall. So I'll have that there, and each of these machines needs a hobby steam generator going into it. So that'll go here, and I'll have the water go here. So I'm just gonna see where would be the best spot to place this machine in preparation for the other machine that we're gonna make very soon. I think this is probably a good spot. I just need to make sure that these levers don't interact and this one doesn't hit this one. And I'll explain a little bit how this works. But so this Hobbyist steam engine, what it does is it's going to take a fuel source like coal, for example. It's going to burn that, and it's going to be generating steam here, then converting that steam into RF, which it will output to whatever machine's up here. So I'm just going to put this up here. The rolling machine is now up here. So in order to activate it, I need to power it on with redstone. Now, hopefully this doesn't turn it on. Thank goodness. Now, does this turn it on? Yes, it does. All right, that works perfectly. So it needs a redstone signal to turn on. Once it turns on, that fuel source will start burning it. The temperature will rise, and once the temperature rises, the steam will start increasing. Once that steam is going up, then the rate of RF production, noted down here, will increase, and that will transfer up here. This will need quite a bit of RF to get going, so I'm just going to leave about half a stack of coal there going. But so we now have the first machine going, and look, it's got a little animation and sound effect to note that it's starting up, and it'll get faster and faster as it starts producing more RF. So here, temperature is rising as it's burning through that coal, and the steam is rising as well, which it's eating up to produce that RF. And you can see that the RF is going in here. So what I used to plumb up here, I probably should have explained a little bit earlier, was treated wood fluid pipes. This was from a quest a little ways back over here somewhere. There we go. So this was basically made from wood fluid pipes, which is just logs. You put it in the crafting table, you get wood fluid pipes or planks there. And then you take that, you bathe that in creosote oil. So one of the uses of creosote oil, if I can find that. Just trust me on that. There we go. And you get that in the bathing area. So we now have the first machine. And this, if we go over here and click on the recipes, you'll notice that this is iron, so that's not very useful. But if we go to here, notice that it takes 3 lead ingots and we get 2 lead sheets. And this is similar for almost all metals up until steel right here. So steel, up until steel, you can get it a little more efficient, because usually, remember, with these steel sheets, you would have had to put 2 in to get 1. Now you put in 3, you get 2. So a little more efficient there. And with the rods here, usually 1 steel ingot makes you 1 short rod, 1 normal rod. But with this, 3 gets you 2 long ones, and you can cut the long ones to get 4 steel ones. So that's a lot more efficient. So that's just wonderful for the machines we were going to make next. So the next one on the list here is going to be the rock crusher machine, if I can get to that. Right, the rock crusher, which breaks down ores into their the small type. Small types are for example, the small bismuth, small sphaler, etc., etc. Not the poor, not the rich, and not the normal ones. It's just breaking it down into the 10 unit ones. And the rock crusher does that, and it gives you a little extra, which is nice. This is fine, especially for things that you can put in the crucible. For iron-related materials, you're really going to need the blast furnace here to make that worth it. But for now, we're going to try to get that rock crusher. And this recipe is a little bit more involved because it's going to need these wrought iron plates. And since we need to make 12 of these, we're going to need 12 of these plates, which is, again, why I made so many of this and why I wanted to make this machine, because it's so useful here. So if I put in a row like this, it's not going to make it quite yet, but if I click on this, then it's going to start crafting. It's going to drain, I think, about 4,000 RF or something like that. Yeah, something like that right there. So it drained quite a bit each time, but this is a lot more efficient. So now that we have this, we're also going to need diamonds. Now, how I get diamonds is I have to go to a kimberlite source and get some diamonds. And usually you get chipped diamonds, but occasionally you'll get larger and better diamonds. So for this, I believe for diamond, let me search that up. You can convert this flawless diamond into wrong way. There we go. Flawless with a hammer gets you normal diamonds, and thankfully we needed only 2 of these diamonds. So we can take this here. Now we have 2 diamonds. So this recipe needs a hammer and a wrench and all of that there. So we're pretty much set. I'll make these, and once we get a rock crusher going, I will show you how it's made, how it works. All right, now that we have the 12 plates, we can make this recipe by doing this, making the rock crushers, and there we go. There are our 12 rock crushers. So going back over here, I can check this off, and now I can place them down over here. Right over here, so all I need to do is just place them down like this. And bam, we now have the rock crusher. Now it's going to need another Hobbyist engine, so I'll need to make that real quick. But what this does, you can see in the recipes here, it'll crush down whatever you need. It's basically like an improved grindstone. It'll crush down cinnabar to get more redstone and some other byproducts here, graphite and other things to get more byproducts and more of what you would normally get. So this is a big improvement in resource efficiency. So let me make that second Hobbyist steam engine, and we can get this running as well. All right, so that second Hobbyist engine is made. So now all we have to do is power this up, and this will start heating up. Now, one thing to note here, I didn't realize it till a little later, but once you've been finished using this, I thought the RF would stay there, but it actually slowly draws away. So in order to conserve fuel, I think once you're done, you probably want to turn this off, and it'll have residual heat that'll keep making steam, which will keep making RF. So just sort of turn it off to conserve fuel when you're done here. But I'm going to turn this on because we're probably going to need to keep this pumping for a long time. But it'll start increasing the RF here, and we can then start using that rock crusher, especially for the kaolinite, graphite, and other ores that aren't the irons that can go in the crucibles. That'll definitely increase the amount we have, and also just improve our inventory space down there. So that's an improvement for sure. So that part is now done. The next item on our list is actually going to be the other blast furnace, or actually the coke oven probably is more important, because at the moment, if we look at our current coke ovens, all of them are filled with creosote, and the 2 down there are filled with creosote, which means we can't make charcoal. And our charcoal reserves are basically nothing. It's 13, not enough to do anything. And we still need to make steel here. Remember, we can't use the new methods yet for that, so we still need to make our steel here. So we'll need to make another oven, and I don't really want to make more of these because that would be a waste of resources. The new ovens will be more important to make other things. So let's go down over here. This is where we'll take a look at, and this will need a lot of fire brick. So thankfully, because fire brick requires kaolinite, and the graphite, we can now be more efficient with how we use our resources. So I already got the sand, we just need more fire bricks. So let me make that real quick and show you how the new coke oven works. Whew, at last we are about to make that coke oven. So that took a little while. I had to change this setup here a little bit and point both of these into this because the rate at which RF goes into this machine was not fast enough to keep this running at a fast enough speed. So now that everything's running, I'm just going to leave it running with all the ores funneled into there, and I know there's a way to automate it. I believe either with hoppers or something, so I can do that in the near future. But for now, I'll just leave that running there and get to crafting this. So the recipe for the coke oven bricks here, or the fire bricks from Greg Tech, simply just fire bricks like this and sand. So I actually messed up here, but once we do that, there we go. So that should be able to get us what we need. We need about 24, 25, 26 of them. We need 26 because it's going to be hollow. I don't want to waste resources, so I'll leave that like this. And one of the special ones here, the coke oven, it needs the bricks, but it also needs this coke oven block, which is made like this. So all we do is, let me move this over, wrench down here, black steel plate here, black steel rods here, one of these here, and here we go. Now we have that coke oven. So this quest was already checked off here, supposedly. And now if I check off here, there we go. Now it's all checked off. So this quest needs all of this here, which is 3 more of these, which we'll probably need at some point, and I'll just check this off. But a fluid burning box is probably a good use of our resources for creosote, which we can build in a little bit. But for now, let's get this set up. I'm going to set it up out here because I want to put the fluid tank out here as well. But if I just have it here, why not take this coke oven here? So fire bricks out here like this. Make this a hollow structure and leave that front where we can put this in here. Bam, there we go. So it's a little different than the other coke oven, but it operates pretty much the same. Let me grab some wood and we just put it in there. But one thing is that it doesn't start on its own like the Railcraft ones. You actually need to take a Minecraft flint and steel. This won't work here. It'll just open up the inventory, but we need a Minecraft flint and steel here. Let me grab that. And actually, before I do that, I don't know if that's the right recipe here. Okay, yeah, I was definitely mistaken. So it doesn't take TerraFirmaRescue stuff. GregTech basically interfaces with Minecraft a little more than normal Minecraft, but we need to convert all of these back into normal Minecraft logs and then stick them in here. Then use this Minecraft flint and steel. Right click it, ignition is not possible. Check the recipe. Uh-oh, did I do something wrong? Never mind. I got the recipe wrong. I was right the first time. So you can put normal TerraFirmaRescue logs in there. In fact, you're supposed to put that in there. But once we do that, we light it up with the Minecraft flint and steel, and it'll start cooking away. So this is a little less automated in the sense that you won't really... you'll have to come back and light it up if it's been dead for a little while, if it hasn't been continuously cooking away. But the creosote will be here, and you can pump it away, or you can use a tap and tap it away. And that's something I can show in a little bit when we build this. But for now, this will be an important source of charcoal, because we will need that to make steel and get this here. This blast furnace here. This is a 3 by 4 by 3 structure with a hollow inside. So we will need 34, but it'll round up to 36 blast furnace bricks. And that means we will need to make 9 times this recipe. So steel plates. This means that we will need 9 steel plates, and that'll round out to be about 15 steel using our rolling machine. So 15 steel needed for those 9, so a little more efficient there. But we also need 36 fire brick, and each fire brick, well, each 2 of these requires 5 of them. So that is a lot of fire bricks. So I'll probably need to make this next episode. I might split this episode into 2. One for the initial machines here, but this will require quite a bit of resources. So once all of this is going, I can then make that blast furnace. And the reason why I want to use that is because this blast furnace here, it can use any fuel, coal or charcoal. So that means I don't need to put them in here. And in fact, I can even use coal coke, which is where I put coal into this coke oven here, and it'll result in coal coke, which it basically doubles the burn time, I believe. So that is a good way to use resources, and you can get creosote out of it. So that's just why I want to use that, so I don't have to depend on charcoal, especially with these coke ovens filled up. So that's the plan there. And how this works is that you would need to put this blast prepared iron ore in there, and this is just any small iron ore. So hematite, magnetite, or limonite, and flux, combining that. So that's how you would do that there. And each of these would produce an ingot, and that ingot then you would have to if you want it would produce nuggets, and if you want to make ingots, then you would have to craft them together. So here we see that it's ready here. So there's more charcoal here, but at the moment we won't be able to do that. We will need to it's TerraFirmaRescue already. We will need to make steel using our blast furnace here. So this one is a little less efficient, I'd say, just because it depends on charcoal. So actually, fuel wise, that blast furnace is probably much more fuel intensive, but it saves on our actual ores, and it doesn't depend on charcoal. So that's the benefit there. So actually, I probably want to empty this out and convert this here. We got 29. This will take 20. Right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 is 20, so 25. So I'll be able to make 1 round of steel as of right now, so I'll be doing that. But depending on how long this episode is, I might make a break and split this up into 2 episodes. But the plan is still to get that blast furnace built right around there on the inside, even though it doesn't really need to be on the inside, but I kind of want to have those machines on the inside, and get that tank built so then we can store our creosote somewhere. Alright, just a little update on the setup while I'm still working on getting all the resources ready. But here I've got the setup so that 2 of these engines are pointing here so that this can run at full speed, but I can actually change the direction of the steam engines by shutting it off and then simply wrenching it in the direction I want it to, and I can change it back if I need to. So that's an easy way to do that, get that set up. So this is an efficient way to have this running at full power most of the time, and switching over to maybe one of these engines running this when I need to. And I've also put coal coke in here instead of coal, so that way I get more fuel out of the fuel that I have. So here I'm coking up some of that coal. It's gonna take a little bit. It's 40 seconds left, but what I had to do here was to drain out that creosote because it was preventing it from making anything new. So I actually put them in these sycamore barrels here, and I can make more of these barrels to store more of that oil while I'm still getting all of the material set up and getting it ready for the actual giant tank, the tank that I want to build to store all of this creosote. Should be able to store 432,000 liters. I think that's 432 buckets, so that should be plenty here. This is 40 buckets, so that should be able to store plenty. And here there's a lot over here, so 64, 64, 64. That should be able to store all of that creosote there. And this is a ceramic tap. This tap is made by firing up a clay tap in the forge, and this is just made like this in the crafting table. So pretty easy recipe there. So I'll continue to crank away at this and get more. At this point I need to get more graphite. More graphite, so that I can actually get the fire bricks, because the fire bricks are what's holding me back at the moment. So that and fuel, which is coal in this case. So more coal is needed. So again, more mining. Now you may notice that there isn't a third person time lapse, and that's because I anticipated that I would be doing a lot of inside work, so there would not be a need for that, and also just that the number of cuts that I need probably wouldn't warrant a huge time lapse from a third person view. Probably just cuts from first person to simplify things. But that's what I will work on for now, so hopefully I can get this done. I'll probably even have to split the recording up to get this done, but this is going quite long. This will most likely be several different episodes here. So, unfortunately, I am going to have to end this episode here because the recording has been way too long, over 4 hours of footage I need to edit. So I underestimated how long it would take to make that other blast furnace. So that'll be something I'll pick up on next episode. Once I've gotten all the materials ready, so I don't need to watch that and record that. But just to recap what we ended up doing this episode, we ended up making this other GT blast furnace, so that allows us to make coal coke, which is really good for our steam setup there. We brought the water line inside and made some barrels here to store some of that creosote that is preventing us from doing anything. And here we have the two machines set up. The rolling machine, which makes making certain things from softer metals, like the sheets and also the rods and certain things like that, a lot easier. And here we have the crusher, which is basically an ore output increaser or ore amount increaser, since it can break things down into more of than what it would be if you normally used it or if you used a grindstone. So that's what we had here today, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I'm not sure how the edit's going to turn out here. And I did want to mention one thing though. I've noticed that the twice weekly schedule is a little unsustainable, especially when I go back to school next semester. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is a once weekly on Sunday. I think I'm going to release on Sunday, so that gives me time on Saturday to record and edit and get that out on Sunday. That seems like a lot better, since these episodes, again, take a lot of time considering the recording and the before and after work that I have to do. So that's what I'll have to do there. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking it so other people can see it. And if you like the series that I have so far, if you like my content, then consider subscribing. Anyways, take care, stay humble, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!